I was so clouded by everything I was doing that I thought I wasn't hurting anyone but myself, and I didn't care. I wanted to be left alone until I didn't, until I got arrested or I ran out of money or dope or I was homeless for too long.
During my addiction, I didn't have a close relationship with my family because all I was worried about was getting high. My mom didn't even want to talk to me because she was just so devastated, and she was already mourning the loss of me when I was still alive. She just had this feeling that I was gonna die, and I would have if I continued on the path I was going.
Well, it feels like I'm living in slow motion replay. I make the same mistakes over and over again.
So we're here today to talk about family. What's the first thing that comes up for you, Ashley, when you hear that word family?
Chaos, I guess.
Chaos,
Yeah.
Okay.
Addiction, recovery.
Bobbi, how about you?
Today, it's love, it's happiness. In active addiction, it was hell, chaos.
So, when you guys say chaos, that word really resonates with me too. I'd probably been in and out of treatment for like 4 or 5 years at this point when my mom told me, she picked me up from jail and she was like, I slept really well last night because I knew you were in jail. Mm-hmm. And I think that says a lot about us in addiction, right? Because, we're out there making decisions and trying to do the best we can to survive, but we're still safer in jail mm-hmm. with all those things taken away from us.
In the beginning of my addiction, my mom was very enabling. My father was a addict and he died. So
how old were you when he died?
13. So off he went and he died. So then my mom was like, okay, me and my sister were using together, and she's like, I can't put these girls out of the house because they'll die. And I think my sister getting sober really helped her create a sort of boundary, because it got to the point where if I were to have stayed in Florida, I would have died. So the best thing they could have done for me was send me out of, my hometown.
A lot of people enter treatment, being coerced, whether it be by their family or the court system, whatever. What are your guys' thoughts on, being pushed into treatment?
Looking back, I'm grateful I got pushed to go to treatment, because on my own, I would have never went. It paved the way for me to become open-minded and become willing to take those suggestions that I kept hearing. And, even though I kept hitting my head multiple times and hit multiple bottoms, I finally came to a place where I wanted to be clean for myself, and not just my family and everyone around me. So it was a good thing that I was pushed in the beginning.
So both of you guys left home to get sober.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever talked to your families about what that was like for them, putting their daughters on planes to go far, far away?
I was 86 pounds when I came to Florida. They didn't even recognize me anymore. So for them to put me on the plane, yeah, it was hard for them, but they knew it was saving my life. And then when I decided to continue to use down here, they felt guilty and like it was their fault that they sent me down here, and my disease progressed, as it always does, regardless of geographical location.
So was it their fault?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I just wasn't ready.
Yeah. And you left, but I think it's important for families to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Is that, we do stupid things, we put ourselves in danger all the time, but it's not their fault. A lot of times that's the question we hear, right? It's like, we raised them right, we took them to church, we did this, we did that. I don't know what I did wrong. What are some of the blessings and the things that have come out of recovery for your family, for your relationships with your mom, with your sister?
Being in recovery, I'm able to place better boundaries on that relationship, because before I would just let it eat me alive, and then I'm like, I'd run. I take care of myself today, and that's one of the best things for my mom, especially because she does not have a lot of money at all. So me taking from her in the first place was insane and selfish, because she didn't have much to give. But now,
Now you actually help them out.
Yeah.
Right? So hold on a second. Like, I just want to acknowledge that, you know, heroin addict, IV user, been to treatment how many times?
Inpatient, 19.
Been to treatment 19 times, right? In a position where family didn't let you in the house, you know, probably the legal system didn't think you should be free, right? And now you're in a place where you're able to be there and help them. How does that feel? Like, that's kind of a miracle.
It is.
You know that, right?
Yeah, it's insane. Even, I mean, the first year after I got sober, I didn't get a car because I thought that I couldn't. Like, in my mind, I was like, there's no way anyone's ever gonna give me anything. Like, there's no way I can, it's just not possible. And I walked right into a dealership like a year sober, and they're like, yeah, it's like, you're like a normal human being. And I was like, oh, they don't know.
And for you, I mean, you know, family sending you to Florida, like, go away, right? Go somewhere else, barely being able to take care of yourself, you know, 86 pounds, right? You're not even feeding yourself. And now you're responsible for a beautiful little baby.
A couple of years ago, I didn't know if I would ever live to see 26 years old, to have a family of my own. I thought I was gonna be another statistic, you know, die with a needle in my arm. And so, you know, today things are beautiful. I have such a beautiful relationship with my family, and I have a family of my own. You know, I have a 4-month-old daughter. I have a beautiful wife. You know, I'm happy. It's amazing, and I say this all the time, but like I just wish I did it sooner.
It just occurred to me that both of you guys actually now, in your work, talk to families on a pretty regular basis. What's that like?
It's good that I have had the experience that I've had, you know, when talking to them, because when I was getting sober, and for my family, was finding someone that could relate to them and have been through the same stuff and, you know, kind of knows what they're going through. So not only was I the addict, but I was also, everyone in my family, you know, my father was a drug addict, my sister used with me, so I've been on both sides of it. So like, I get it, and that's always, and look at, I'm okay, and they're okay, and we're happy, and that's usually comforting.
I bet it's
to
very
them.
rewarding to have those kind of conversations, to be able to share that experience with them.
I love talking to families.
Yeah.
I've talked to families that have lost their child to this disease, and I've talked to families who call me and thank me after their child has stayed clean. It's almost a way of me making amends to my family, and I could sit there and say, hey, like, I was your child, or I was your wife, or I was your husband, you know, and we do recover.
Well, I mean, that's the truth, right? We do recover. So, and you guys are just two wonderful examples of not only how far somebody can fall, but then how far somebody can rise in recovery. I can't help but imagine that your families feel very proud of who you are, and you know, I feel proud of who y'all are. You know, that you know, despite the road bumps and the detours, that, you know, today both of you have happy, healthy, full lives, despite, you know, where y'all's stories might have ended. I'm very grateful for you guys spending your time with me today, and I'm proud of y'all. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name's Ashley, and I've been sober for 18 months. My name is Bobbi, and I've been clean for 23 months.
My name's Joseph Gorordo, and I've been in recovery since July 21st, 2008.